Chapter 18. Grace that was bestowed on me. I bow down Shri Ganesh, I bow down Shri Saraswati, I bow down the Guru, I bow down the family Dinti, I bow down Shri Sita Ramchandra, I bow down Shri Sadguru Sai Nath. Hail to the Sadguru who is supreme and eternal. Hail to the Sadguru who is the truth of Brahma, who makes you experience that the world is illusory. Hail, hail to him who is the controller of Maya. Hail, hail to you without beginning or end. Hail, hail to you beyond duality. Hail, hail to you who is immutable. Oh, you are the only one who teaches the true nature of the self. Can a salt doll return from a bath in the ocean? This can never happen. It is the same with you. The Vedas and Shrutis discuss day and night that which cannot be defined. You can point it out easily to the devotees. If by luck you lay siege to someone, then that one will never entertain the selfish thought of the difference between yours and mine. In the last chapter, the pure story unfolding the meaning of Brahma and how the avariciousness of the Brahmamati was an obstacle was described. Now the story about how I received Baba's blessings. O listeners, listen respectfully, for it will reveal Baba's ways of giving it guidance. The story is also interesting. I will relate it as it happened. Listeners should listen with a calm mind for their own good. If the listener is keen and has due respect, the speaker also gets the right enthusiasm and his heart overflows with love. It is enjoyable for both of them. Without any change of mind or feeling, even in the slightest measure and according to each one's capabilities, Baba showed the true path and preached in accordance with that. Many people are of the opinion that whatever a guru has told them should not be divulged to anybody, otherwise the guru's words become ineffective. But this is entirely unimaginary and unnecessary fuss made. Not only the things taught personally, but dream visions too have been told to all word for word. If you assume this to be untrue, I can support it with the example of Buddha Kaushik Rishi, who was taught the Ram Raksha Stotra in his dream, which he taught to all. The guru is like a moist laden cloud of the rainy season who fondly showers water in the form of contentment. Why should be hoarded? On the contrary, one should drink to one's heart content and should also serve others. A mother holds the chin of the child and lovingly feeds the medicine for the sake of his health. Baba's skill was similar. His ways were never secretive. Listen carefully how unexpectedly he would fulfill the wishes of his devotees. Bless is the company of the Sadguru. Who can describe his powers? When the memories of his words are recalled one by one, I am inspired greatly. If you pray to God with love and serve the Guru and perform his puja, you will receive that knowledge which only the Guru has. All other means are useless. This path of the world is full of confusion and dim. The words of the Guru shine like rays from a lamp to make it smooth and perceivable. Guru is actually God himself. He is Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar. Guru in reality is God Almighty. Guru is the supreme Brahma. Guru is the mother and Guru is the father. Guru is the protector. When God's wrath is incurred, but when Guru is angry, nobody can protect you. Remember this always. Guru is the guide for worldly behavior. The rituals and pilgrimages to holy places. He is the guide to what is right and wrong and to practice non-attachment. He is the exponent of the Vedas and the Upanishads. The saints open up the inner eyes, the intellect, and reveal the grandeur of the inner self. They fulfill all the wishes of the devotees. They are extremely tender-hearted and compassionate. They cause the passions to disappear. Even in sleep, true knowledge pulsates. Because of their blessings, the twin fruits of self-denial and self-control are obtained. If one is able to get close to a saint, serve him and love him like the wish-fulfilling tree, he fulfills all the wishes of the devotees and wards off all miseries. Always practice truth. Listen to the stories about the saints. Bow down at the feet of the saints. Sins will be washed away. When Lord Ray was the governor of the state, he overthrew the Crawford regime at that time. a well-known gentleman became Baba's devotees. This world is full of threefold miseries and his faults. This gentleman suffered heavy losses in business and was disheartened. He gave up everything and left home. He was gravely perturbed. He decided to take a journey to a far-off place where he would be happy in seclusion. When a person is in tremendous difficulty, then he remembers God, and that too with great difficulty. Then the devotee continuously calls out God's name and becomes a follower. But till the sins are not diminished, just reciting God's name does not help. Afterwards, seeing the devotion, God leads him to a saint. Similarly, it happened for that devotee. Seeing him utterly fed up of the world, his friends gave him a good advice. Listen to that. Why don't you go to Shirdi to take the darshan of Sai Samartha Sainath? Pray to him, the saint who is the cloud of mercy. If one is able to get the company of a saint even for a moment, the wayward mind becomes steady and immediately settles at the feet of God, from where it is difficult to return back. People go from far and near, humble themselves in the dust of Sai's feet, act according to Maharaj's commands, and get their wishes fulfilled by serving him. Such is his widespread fame. The young and the old all know about it. If he takes pity on you, you will be free of miseries. Shirdi at present is a holy place. Streams of people flow in and out day and night. You too can have this experience. Darshan of the saint will be beneficial. Just as a person worried because of drought and thus reduced to penury, if he is suddenly showered with ample wealth, or if a person agnosed by terrible hunger is served with delicacies, he felt like that when his friends told him of Shirdi. That devotee accepted this advice and decided to have the experience. He set off for Shirdi. He came to the town, had darshan, prostrated at Sai's feet. Immediately he felt relaxed and content. He who was absolute Brahma, ancient, self-illumined, unblemished, such was the vision he saw, and he was joyous. He felt that thanks to his last birth's good fortune, he had come near Sai's feet and his mind was at peace, free from anxiety because of the darshan. This person's surname was Sathe. He was of a steady, fast nature. He began the recitation of the Satcharitra and practiced the ritual religiously. After 7 days of reading, the book was over. Baba gave him a dream vision that night in which he was holding the book in his hand and was explaining its meaning to Sathe. Baba sat on his own seat and made Sathe sit in front of him, took the Guru Charita book and expertly explained it to him. Baba recited from the book and taught like a Puranikas. Sathe listened peacefully and full of respect. What is this about turn in my life? Thought Sathe. He felt greatly surprised and was choked with love. O benevolent one, you awaken those who are resting their heads on the pillows of the darkness of ignorance and who are snoring away in the embrace of passion. Just see, even at such a time, shaking us to wakefulness, you are giving the nectar of Guru Charitra to drink. O merciful one. So be it. After he had such a dream, Sathe became fully awake immediately. He related the whole episode which had taken place to the Kaka Sahib Dikshit and said, I do not understand the meaning. Only Baba is capable of knowing it. I do not know what is in his mind. Kaka, please ask him in detail. Shall I start the recitation again, or shall I consider that whatever has been done is enough? Whatever be Baba's intentions, please ask him. Only that will put my mind to rest. Then Kaka, having found an opportune moment, told Baba about the dream. O Lord, through this dream, what have you to convey to Sathe? Should the week-long recitation be repeated, or should it be terminated now? Please explain the meaning of the dream yourself and show the way to Sathe. This is the only request I am making at your feet. Sathe is an adorned devotee. Please have mercy on him and grant his wish. Then Baba ordered, let there be more recitation. By reading this Guru Charitra, devotees are purified. If this book is recited repeatedly, it will be beneficial for them. They will receive God's blessings and the worldly chains will be broken off. While Baba was thus talking, I was massaging Baba's feet. I was surprised inwardly and was provoked to think, How could Baba do this? It seems that Sathe has gained fruit with little effort, and I have spent years while he gets the benefit in 7 days. Sathe has only once completed the recitation of the Guru Charitra in 7 days, and here I am who has done it for 40 years. Do I deserve no thought? One gets the benefits within 7 days, and another has spent 7 fruitless years. I am like the Chatak, eagerly awaiting and thinking, when will this merciful cloud shower on me? When will that day ever come when this jewel amongst the saints bless me, fulfills my heart's desire, and will grant me the knowledge? Shri Guru Sai loved his devotees. Shri see his marvel. No sooner than these thoughts came to my mind that he immediately was aware of them. Such thoughts, good or bad, though born of illusion, may there be a millions of them, which arise and subsidize continuously, all come to his knowledge. The mind can imagine that which even an enemy cannot think of, is a well-known saying. Though nobody else would know the thoughts, Maharaj immediately realized them. But that very compassionate mother forgives everything that is evil, and at the opportune moment she provokes the good and cultivates the right behavior. Then, having understood my thought, Baba said to me, "Get up, go to Shama and bring rupees 15 from him. Sit with him for a while, chat with him, come back quickly after taking Dakshina from him." Sainath took pity on me and under the pretext of Dakshina said, "Go and immediately ask for money from Shama for my sake." When such an order was given, who would dare to sit? If one should sit in spite of that, it would be disobedience. I got up and took leave. Then I left immediately. Shamrao came out to greet. He had just had his bath and was standing there wearing dhoti. He had just finished his bath and had put on fresh laundered garments and was draping the folds of dhoti while reciting God's name under his breath. He said, "How have you come unexpectedly? Are you coming from the masjid? Why do you look restless, and why are you alone today? Come and sit. I have just had a bath and am pleating my dhoti. I will just pour the water over the images of the deities and will return in no time. By the time you eat the pan, I will finish my puja and rituals. Afterwards, we will sit comfortably and talk at leisure." Madhavrao went inside. Then I casually picked up the book of Nath Bhagavat, which was lying on the window sill. I opened the book at random, and strangely it was the page which I had started to read in the morning and had left incomplete. I was greatly surprised because the portion I was reading in the morning and which I had omitted due to sheer laziness, Baba made me complete and made me stick to my daily ritual. Ritual means to read a certain portion regularly. If not fully understood or done halfway, one should not get up and leave it unfinished. Otherwise, the upasana is incomplete. Now, this small story which has come up in the course of narration I do not like to leave. So now listeners should listen to that story with respect regarding the Nath Bhagavat. That is the Nath Bhagavat, full of devotion to the Gurus, which Sai has acknowledged and which Dikshit read regularly. This book, written for the salvation of the world, was told to Brahma, the creator, by Narayana, Vishnu, and was the seed sowed by him in the field which Narada reaped. That farm was cultivated in 10 ways by Bhadrayan, and Shuka selected a few best years, the corn, for the sake of Parikshit in his threshing ground in the scuttle. Sridhar Swami cleaned it, Janardhar Swami measured it, and Eknath prepared plenty of delicious dishes from it. The 11th chapter, which is the mine of devotion, love and happiness from the Vrindavan with 32 corners, is the chapter which Dikshit read regularly. During the day he would read and explain that to the other devotees, and at night he would read Bhagavata Ramayan. This book was also ordered by Guru, and Dikshit followed that authority. Nath Bhagavat is the sense of happiness and devotion to God, a second edition, as it were, of Jnaneshwari. This is a great obligation on Maharashtra by Nath. Having early morning bath, doing daily worship of Sai and other deities, offering Naivedya, and having done the Aarti, lighting the Niranjan, Then afterwards, along with other listeners, having taken the naivedya of milk and some fruits, he read the pothi at full length, full of respect as a daily ritual. That pothi, which was enjoyed by the great devotee of God Tukaram and was recited by him a thousand times in solitude on the Bandra hill, how can its sweetness be possibly described by anybody? Sai Samartha had asked Dikshit, who was a great devotee, full of faith, to read the divine book, which is beneficent and capable of leading beings to their salvation. One need not go and stay in the jungles because God Himself appears in the Uddhav Gita, chapter 11. Those who recite it with full faith can reach God directly. In Mahabharata, there is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, but this one between Krishna and Uddhava is better than that. It is that which is in the Bhagavad, brought out in words by Eknath with profound understanding. So be it. This beneficent book, together with the Bhagavata, Dipika, and Nyandev, the great and merciful Sainath, made people read in Shirdi. Sakharam Hari Jog was commissioned by Baba read it at Sathe's Vada, and the devotees were greatly benefited. Baba would often pursue the devotees to recite the book and would plead with them out of compassion to do so for their own good. Incomparable is Baba's skill of teaching. His ways and means were different for different devotees. They would be near or far away, but he would be close to them in their hearts. Though he would sit in the masjid and allot a certain work to a person, he would get it done by extending his own powers to the person. He would tell Bapu Sahib Jog to read the pothi, which he would read regularly and religiously in the Vada, and the listeners also came to listen. Every afternoon after the meals, Jog would go to Baba, bow down at his feet, take vibhuti and ask for permission to start the reading for the pothi. Sometimes he read the Jnaneshwari and sometimes the Nath Bhagavat. He would recite with a heart filled with joy and would also explain the meanings. Since this order was given, those devotees who came to visit Baba were directed by Baba to go and listen to the pothi as soon as they came. Sometimes he would tell stories in short which the listeners would listen to attentively and try to retain. No sooner he would tell them to get up and go to listen to the reading of the pothi in the Vada. When the listeners with full devotion would go to listen to the pothi, he would find such a story by which the meaning of the earlier story is told by Baba would be confirmed. The Jnaneshwari of Jnaneshwar or the verse of Eknath in the Bhagavat would be found to be, as it were, adopted from Baba's story. This would greatly surprise the listeners. Sometimes there would not be such a schedule as to read a certain portion from the pothi, yet Jog would read it out or refer to by some coincidence. The Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavat are the two main books which contain the essence of the Bhagavad Dharma, and Jog would regularly read them. Jnaneshwari is a contemporary on the Gita, which is given the title of Bhagavata Dipika, while Nath advocates the philosophy in a nutshell in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavat. So be it. Thus the Bhagavad Dharma fame spread accordingly as a daily ritual. I used to read it regularly, but that day I missed it. One story was read halfway because the people were set for the masjid. I put away the pothi while reading and hurried off with them, with a view to listen to Baba's stories, but Baba had something else in his mind. Baba did not like my leaving the Bhagavat and doing anything else. Only for this reason, somehow for or the other, Baba made me read the remaining portion of the Bhagavat. Such was Baba's great marvel. My affection overflows as I remember it. So be it. The reading of the Bhagavat was completed, and by subsidiary story also ends here. By then, Madhav Rao's puja had ended and he came out. Oh, there is a message from Baba, which I have brought to you. Bring rupees 15 as dakshina from Shama. While I was sitting and serving him, suddenly he remembered you and said, get up and go to Shama and come back with the dakshina. He also said, sit for a while at his home, chat with him for some time. After conversing with him, return thereafter. When Madhav Rao heard this, he was very much astonished and said, instead of rupees, offer him my namaskars. Say that It is my dakshana. All right, one thing is done. I'm carrying 15 namaskars with me. But now come and sit and chat with me. So said I. Tell me any story you choose. Quench the thirst of my desire to listen. Let the Gangas of Baba's story flow from you. For they will wash away my sins. Then Madhav said, sit down. Such is the Leela of this god of which you are aware. Rest for a while here. Rest for a while. Sit. Take this pan and katha. The tuna and the supari are in the box. I will come back in a moment. After putting my cap on my head, unfathomable are the Leelas of Sai Baba. How many can I tell you? Haven't you seen enough since you came to Shirdi? I'm just a villager, while all of you are from the cities. To what extent can I talk about his incomprehensible Leelas before you? He told me that he was coming back and went inside, offered flowers, etc. to the dinties, put on his cap, quickly returned and sat down to talk to me. What an amazing sort of God is this! You who can understand his ways, his deeds know no bounds. He remains aloof after making his moves. Oh, you are all seekers of knowledge, one more learned than the other. Such simpletons as we are, how can we understand Baba's incomprehensible personality? Could he not explain to you during the conversation what he wanted to say? Why did he send you to me? Only he knows the meaning of his deeds, because he is not a mortal. Just now, while flowing with the current of these stories, I am reminded of a story. So let us make good use of this time for talking about it. I will relate to you an incident which took place before my eyes. Whatever was the determination one had in mind, he saw to it that it was fulfilled. Sometimes Baba too puts a person's love and faith to serve tests. He spares no means and then gives Upadesh. As soon as I heard the word Upadesh, I was reminded of the incident about the Sathe's Charitra. I actually felt as if lightning had struck my mind. Could it be that this incident about Shama had been contrived by Baba to ease my mind, which had become wavered in the masjid? This indeed was an astounding deed of Baba. So be it. This line of thought was suppressed by me immediately. My eagerness to listen to the story had doubled, and let us see how it was satisfied. Thereafter, as he started telling the stories about Baba, slowly unfolding them, I felt happier by and by, realizing his love for his devotees. Afterwards, he told another story and said that there was a wife of Deshmukh who thought of spending some time in the company of saints. Hearing of Sai Baba's fame, the lady came to Shirdi along with a group of people from Sangamner. With a longing for Baba's darshan, she was the mother of Kaka Sahib Deshmukh, Khasaba Deshmukh. Her name was Radhabai. With great faith in Sai, she bowed down at his feet and took darshan. She had darshan with the right formalities. All her Vedaki of long journey disappeared, and then she remembered her mission. She ardently desired to make Sai Samartha her guru, so that he would give her the right Upadesh by which she would attain her goal of life. The lady was quite aged and had immense faith in Sai Baba. She was firmly resolved on getting some Upadesh from him. I will not go anywhere else till Baba graces me personally and gives me a mantra whispered in my ear. The mantra should come directly from the lips of Sai, because if I take it from anyone else, it will be impure. Lord Sai is the holiest and foremost among saints. Let him choose to bless me. Having thus determined at heart, the lady gave up eating and drinking and became inflexible about it. She was old as it was. She had never eaten even a morsel, nor drunk any water. Yet she had extreme faith in Upadesh. For 3 days and nights continuously, the old woman fasted and had decided to continue it till the day Baba gave her the Upadesh. What is the use of visiting Shirdi without receiving a mantra Upadesh? She remained unmoving from the place where she was staying and was prepared to die there. She did not have food or water for 3 days, and thus did Nancy. The lady was exhausted and became very sad. Madhavrao was worried and thought that the situation was not proper. What should be done about the future, as the old lady was not afraid of death? Then he went to the masjid and sat beside Baba. He asked respectfully about the day-to-day matters regarding general well-being. Shama, what are you planning today? Is everything all right? That Narayan Teli has gone far out of the bounds in and is giving me a lot of trouble. Thinking about the condition of the old lady, Shama was already dejected. What exactly should he do? Gathering courage, he asked Baba, Lord, what is this confusion and mystery? Your moves are not understood by others. You make people come to this village, and now you are asking me my plans. That old Deshmukh woman is aged and has gone without food or water for 3 days and is solely depending on you. That old lady is very obstinate and has great faith in you. You are not ready to even look at her. Why are you making her miserable? As it is, she is like a dry stick. She is unrelenting, of a very irascible nature and strong willed. Obviously, without food, she is going to lose her life. It will be said that the old woman came with the desire to take darshan and wished to have Upadesh, but Sai Baba had no pity on her. He let her die. Baba, let not such a reputation spread. Let her tell her what is good for her. Why don't you grace her and wipe out the probable blot? She has no strength left in her. Her life is hanging by a thread. The old woman will die and you will receive the blame. The old woman's financy is hard. We are very much worried. Unfortunately, if the old woman dies, it will be a disaster. The old woman is bent on doing injury to herself in a fit of passion. If you do not favor her, I do not see any chance of her survival. Tell her something from your own lips. This chapter has reached the limit of set for its length. The desire for the listeners will be fulfilled through in the next chapter very lovingly. Later on, Baba lovingly gave Upadesh because of that old woman. By listening to it with respect, ignorance will disappear. Hemat surrenders to Sai, prostrates before the listeners. Now be ready to listen to that which will lead you to cross the worldly ocean and with the least efforts. May there be well-being. This is the end of the 18th chapter of Shri Sai Satcharitra, written by the devotee Hemadpant, implied by the saint and virtuous people, called Grace That Was Bestowed on Me. This is offered to Sri Sadguru Sainath. May there be auspiciousness.